All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault Gaming video. Xvault here, and today we have some other news that I do want to go over. It is pretty prevalent, and it is in regards to some specific Sony IPs and what's happening with those IPs. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, we have two IPs to get to here, and in regards to those IPs, we're looking at possible remakes. You can even consider one of them a reboot, so to speak. We'll kind of see what happens there. But the first one I want to go over is a big fan favorite for most, I would assume. I know for myself, I was a big favorite, not in the later games, but in the first few. We're talking about Twustwd Metal. So, according to VideoGamesChronicle.com, in the news articles here, Twustwd Metal Reboot developer is switching developers. So, what's going on here is a series revival is no longer in development at Destruction All-Star Studio Lucid, VGC understands. It has changed its plans in the development for Twustwd Metal, the reboots, sources have told VGC. Last year, it was reported via VGC that a new car combat installment, which by release would be the series' first in over a decade. Can you believe that? Over a decade? Jeez. Had started early development at Liverpool, UK-based Destruction All-Stars developer Lucid Games. However, it's been told that the project has since ceased development at Lucid, and according to sources, Sony has decided to instead move the series revival to one of the first-party studios in Europe. Sony Interactive Entertainment and Lucid Games did not immediately respond to a request for comment. It's understood that Sony still intends to bring back the car combat series in time to coincide with an upcoming TV series in 2023. And early work has begun on the unnamed first-party studio. Sources did not provide an explanation for the change of developer. However, one person suggested that the poor reception to Lucid's PS5 title Destruction All-Stars could have contributed to the decision. Destruction All-Stars released early last year to highly critical reviews. Despite its PS Plus launch, Destruction All-Stars struggled to find an audience, and its developer even added AI-controlled drivers to the game to help players find matches when there weren't enough opponents online. Sony expressed its commitment to the Twustwd Metal franchise just last week when it reiterated on stage at CES 2022 that a TV series is in development and displayed artwork on screen. The Twustwd Metal television product was officially announced in May 2019 and is in the works at Sony's PlayStation Productions movie and TV studio. So according to Variety, the live-action adaptation of the PlayStation's vehicular combat series will be an action comedy penned by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers of Deadpool films and Zombieland. So that should be really good. This is also starring Anthony Mackie and so on and so forth. So the main piece of this article is it's interesting that they are switching from Lucid Studio, right? Studio Lucid. But what's going on there is All-Stars, Destruction All-Stars, Battle Royale, whatever, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't because the combat felt bad. It wasn't because the controls felt bad. It was just not a very well, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of those out there probably agree with me that it was just not well executed. The arenas were way too small. I think it would have done a lot better if it was in an more open worldish map, like I would say along the lines of the original Twustwd Metal games, more specifically like Twustwd Metal 1, 2, and possibly Black. Twustwd Metal 3 was not good. It was very mediocre. The best thing about it was the Rob Zombie soundtrack. But aside from that, Black was pretty good. It was very difficult, though. It was all of a sudden up the scale of difficulty via AI opponents and everything like that. But it was the first Twustwd Metal to go online. But yeah, I think it could have done well if it was in a bigger arena or bigger cityscape or something like that. But it wasn't a bad game due to the controls. It's just the execution was not there as a whole. But it is interesting they took this away from them. So apparently in the early development here, they did not like the direction that this was heading. I do know they want to probably coincide this game with that of the Twustwd Metal series coming out in 2023. So we probably will see the series get a really good overhaul, the reboots, and kind of coincide and probably star maybe a likeness of Anthony Mackie's character or maybe a likeness to the series in that universe, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Again, Twustwd Metal 1, 2 was the best in the series. Black was a little difficult, but that was good. 3 was awful. I can't even remember the actual title of the new reboot of the Twustwd Metal. I think it was just Twustwd Metal, is that right? I don't know, David Jaffe, if you ever see this video, I'm apologize right now. I didn't look up beforehand if you had any hand in the reboot of Twustwd Metal for the PS3. But that was a hit and miss. It didn't gel with me. I know there were some folks out there that did kind of like that one. But I do like the aesthetic of Twustwd Metal 1 and 2 the best, 2 being the pinnacle, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. But some good news for the Twustwd Metal fans out there. I know not everybody was a big Twustwd Metal fan, but I was one of those fans for the most part. So hopefully we get something good there. And hopefully we get some of the talented folks of the newly acquired studios to work on this AAA franchise rather than see it die. So if we get this resurrected from 10 years, here's to hoping we get something from Resistance Insomniac, please. Thank you. Moving on to the other piece of this, we do have the Last of Us news. So it has been pretty much verified. The rumors have been out there about a Last of Us PS5 remake, essentially. So this is also coming from Video Games Chronicle. The Last of Us PS5 remake is, quote, nearly finished and could release even in 2022, it's claimed. So on top of that, the Last of Us 2 Director's Cut and multiplayer game is also said to be on the way, which I'm really looking forward to the multiplayer game. The Director's Cut of Last of Us 2, whatever, it's fine. But essentially, they're going on to say that a PlayStation 5 remake of the original Last of Us game is nearing completion. This is according to industry insider Tom Henderson, whose claims match information that they have received via their own sources. Quoted to have heard from multiple people now that the Last of Us remake is nearly finished and could release in the latter half of 2022, he tweeted. While the project has not been officially announced by Sony, Bloomberg reported that last April that a remake of the 2013 PS3 game was in the works for PS5. It claimed the project was originally developed in development at PlayStation's Visual Arts Service Group before the studio has switched to support role on the game. The remake's development is now reportedly being led by series creator Naughty Dog, which is said to have taken charge of the project following the completion of The Last of Us Part 2, which was released in June of 2020. So a lot of good stuff there. Again, this is another series that has a series releasing for it on HBO Max. So the Twustwd Metal series, I believe, is heading to Netflix, where this is going to HBO Max as a series. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Netflix does a great job with their IPs or bringing things to the film adaptation. For the most part, they have some hit or misses on some of the anime stuff, bringing to live action. So hopefully they do well with the Twustwd Metal. But I know I just have this deep down gut feeling that I think HBO can really knock this out of the park for the Last of Us series. So I'm really looking forward to how that transitions and how that works out. So really got my eyes out on that. But ultimately, a remake, whether it's 4K, updated visuals, maybe a little bit more fluid combat, maybe adding a jumping button to climb stuff, some stuff that could really bring this out to fresh players, maybe to a new audience who doesn't know too much about it. But once these series, they kind of go hand in hand, right? You kind of trademark things. You have toys, you have social media, you have media entertainment in general with movies and series and stuff like that, and then you tie in the games. All they're thinking about as a business is money and how to tie this all together and continue to grow that pile of money, and then they can flourish that throughout Sony Entertainment as well and utilize that in all facets of Sony themselves as a company. So as far as myself, the point I'm trying to make here as far as the remake, I'm not super giddy about the remake. I'm not clamoring for one. It seems like they're trying to scratch the bottom of the barrel here to bring this more, but hopefully I eat my words and this is just a really good adaptation, a really good remake, so to speak, and they just bring everything out. I really did enjoy the story, so if they do enough to really make me want to come back and be wowed through all of its presentation here, then great. Then all the power to them, and I'll probably bite and play it through again. But I do want as many people as possible to play this game. I do feel this is such a gem that anybody that still to this day has not played The Last of Us, it's just something you need to do. If you're a gamer of any sort, this is just something you need to take time aside, spend 8 to 10 hours, and play this game through. It is just one of those games that will stick with you forever. It's just one of those amazing games. So Definitely looking forward to that, but we'll see what kind of happens. But a lot of stuff going on there between the series and the games and reboots and remakes, and hopefully this is just the tip of the iceberg. And like I said, we get some stuff back from games like Jak and Daxter, and we get some Sly Cooper, which is rumored to be happening, and we get some Resistance series being revitalized in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully we get this on the right tracks here, and we get a lot of that coming our way so we can be eating good, as they say, right? So hopefully that'll happen. We'll wrap up the video for now. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below to let me know if you're excited for any of these IPs and all the information that I shared with you today. Would love to hear from you. If you can, drop a like and be sure to comment. If you are new here and have not subscribed already, please definitely do so. Thank you all so much for your ongoing support and all the recent supports as well. We are at 191 subscribers out of the 300 goal. We are climbing and at a decent rate right now, so let's see if this kind of keeps up. So again, if you're new here, please help out a small content creator like myself. Much, much appreciated. We'll let you have the rest of your Monday back. Hopefully it's a good rest of the week for everybody there, and we'll see you next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.